They say this was totally preventable. They had gotten some much needed help, had they? All they needed was for the landlord to fill out some paperwork.
Brandon Walker picks up the story from there. He's live in Richmond tonight. And Brandon, that mother says the landlord didn't hold up his end of the deal.
Right, Chris, and that's what she says. First, here the optics of where we are. A master planned community still under construction here in Richmond. And the woman you are about to meet had a really good job. That is until March when she lost it. Now she has been evicted. She's packing her bags, and she fears that she's not alone and knows that with the coronavirus that has no end in sight, there'll be more people just like her.
You need more paper?
It hasn't been a year since Lisa Pradia unpacked to move in.
This was a lot.
Yet here she is packing up to move out. The eviction ruling on her coffee table, the reason why.
Never thought I'd be in this situation ever.
Facing eviction during a pandemic like a growing number of Texans who, just like Pradia, never thought they'd see the day or days, beginning when she lost her job.
It was March 2nd. And what I did was immediately I called 211 and they gave me a list of different entities that I could call to try to get help.
She says she used her stimulus check to pay partial rent on the home she leases in Richmond. By April, Pradia received word a local charity would help her. All she would need is for her landlord to fill out a W-9. She called him.
He's going to take a look at it and he'll get back with me. Only he didn't get back with me.
She says the landlord contacted her again in June, telling her to apply for rental assistance through Fort Bend County Judge K.P. George.
I do it. I contact him, let him know that, I've been approved. So instead of him saying, okay, yes, he sends me this list of what I owe.
The landlord never filled out the necessary paperwork, Pradia alleges. By June 30th, the judge ruled in his favor, $11,000 in court fees and back rent as part of that ruling. Pradia, a single mother, appealed the ruling, borrowed $2,300 to do that. She'll have her day in court next week, but fears with little protection as a tenant in Texas, she and her daughter's fate is all but sealed.
It's just obvious that they don't care about us, the people. So I have to get my things out of here, and then we have to figure out what's going to happen next.
Really tough situation to be in during all of this. Meantime, we did reach out to the landlord. We are still waiting to hear back. And Pradia says she's sharing her story, guys, because she says that while there isn't anything illegal here, what the landlord did, if you don't pay your rent in the state of Texas, it's perfectly legal to file an eviction notice. She thinks that there need to be better safeguards in place for tenants. So she's calling for laws here to be changed. For Live Tonight in Richmond, I'm Brandon Walker, KPRC Channel 2.
More economic ruin from this pandemic. Houston tenants unable to pay rent have been evicted from apartments in numbers the city hasn't seen in recent history. But those evictions stopped yesterday with the announcement of the CDC's moratorium.
For some, government action was too late. Our Matt Doherty has the story.
Even though the CDC issued a moratorium on evictions, several tenants at this Spring Branch apartment complex were already evicted. Constable Alan Rosen says his deputy constables from Precinct 1 served their final eviction notices yesterday afternoon.
As soon as the moratorium happened, we quit doing evictions.
For at least the next several months, they won't have to deliver any more to those who've been evicted as a result of the pandemic.
We as a community have to do everything we can in our power to help people get through this. We're going to get through it.
Last night, CNN aired a story showing deputies serving evictions here in Harris County. The images of unemployed tenants and families forced to leave their units amid a heat advisory during the pandemic struck a chord with those who saw it. Today, Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson tweeted he'd like to be connected with the tenants in the story. He says he wants to help them get back on their feet. Constable Rosen says his office has been inundated with calls and emails from those wanting to help. In response, the office created a GoFundMe page to pay back rent for those who've been evicted as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Matt Doherty, KHU 11 News.
All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises to Yahweh, Bashim Shai, Bashim Kakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching His word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabah in Great Millstone, Arizona, Camp Will with another video to edify. I wanted to go into this video, man, because these evictions, man, this is, this is something that's been coming for a minute, and people really, the problem with people is that they really had a mindset of this place going on forever to where they thought that everything was going to get back to normal. And this place was gonna sit here and back you up, man. And we've told Jake time and time again that's not the situation, man. We've told you, woe to them that trust in Egypt, man. So people became suretyship. They got in a sure mindset that things would bounce back in a manageable fashion, or they'll keep these unemployment checks coming at a reasonable rate. And what happened? Unemployment stopped, and people starting to feel that heat. People are getting evicted, and it's gonna get a lot worse, bro. This is for 2 Ezra 2 and 32. 2 Ezra 1 and 32. It says, I sent unto you I sent unto you my servants the prophets. And that's what we're here for. And this is what the Lord has done. Whom you have taken and slain. And this has happened as the story goes, one of the men that started this all up, brothers come into this that led one west. He was beaten to death by a bunch of Muslims. It says, and torn their bodies in pieces. And and brothers in all these camps can probably give you a story where these people tried to get physical with us, man. It says, whose blood I will require of your hands, said Yahweh. Thus say the Almighty Yahweh, your house is desolate. I will cast you out as the wind doth stubble. So the Lord is doing it just now, man. He's casting you people out as the wind does stubble. Now that first house that we saw in that video was nice, bro. It was nice. It had the granite countertops. It was.
Picks up the story from there. He's live in Richmond tonight.
Master plan evicted. She's packed.
You need more paper?
Look at it. Got the granite countertops. She got a mini fridge in addition to all her stuff. Nice cabinets in a nice new area. So this lady, that's a nice, beautiful house. But now you're seeing the effects of not taking heed to the word of the Lord, man. The Lord is casting people out of their homes now, man. 2 Ezra 16. It's a serious thing to deny the Lord, man. It's a serious thing. And being too carnally minded, you'll sit here and push away the Lord's men and act like we weren't saying anything true. This is 2 Ezra 16 and I'll start at 71. It says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahweh. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. We're seeing this, man. It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen. They shall be tried as gold is tried in a fire, man. Because in all this, a lot of you people are going to sit here and realize that those men that you called crazy and stupid on the side of the street preaching and holding the word of the Lord, you're going to realize that everything they said was true. Everything they said was true, was accurate, and these things are happening now. So at the end of the day, you have no excuse. Isaiah 5 and 8, it says, woe to them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. And this is what Esau does, man. These apartment buildings, these housing neighborhoods, he bunches everybody up so nobody actually has their own plot of land. And Esau sits there and buys, hundreds and thousands of acres and just sits on it, while you're stacked on top of each other. It says, verse 9, it says, in mine ears, say Yahweh, of hosts, of a truth. Truth. Many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without inhabitant. And that's what we're seeing, man. These people getting evicted, and they sat there and did a moratorium, giving these people an extension, which that extension is not going to do anything for them, because at that point, here it is, you have another however many months that extension does for them not to get evicted. How are they going to pay back $11,000 when they're only getting paid $15, $16, $17 an hour? Getting taxed. Car notes to pay. Food to buy. Utility bills. How are they going to pay back $11,000 in 2-3 months of however long you give them an extension? It's not going to happen. It says, 10 acres of a vineyard shall yield 1 bath, and the seed of an homer shall yield an ephah. You see? So a lot of the increase of this place is going to dwindle. That's basically what it's going into. The increase of what make this place great is going to dwindle, man. Woe to them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink that continue until night, till they inflame them. And the harp and the viol, the tabret and pipe and wine are in their feast, but they regard not the work of Yahweh, neither consider the operation of his hands. You see? And you people are just like that, man. You don't consider that this is the Lord putting out this judgment. You don't consider that men told you these things. You don't consider that things won't go back to normal, that the Lord doesn't want this place to go back to normal. And that's the problem. That's the problem right there. Isaiah 6 and 11. Six and 10. It says, make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert, and be healed. You see? The Lord has shut you off from understanding and perceiving these things. This is verse 11. Then said I, Yahweh, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. So this is happening all over again. The houses are becoming without inhabitant. You go into California, you got fires everywhere, burning shit up, and in Oregon. And you know, those housing neighborhoods, man, those are just going to be completely burnt down. Completely desolate. The land is going to be completely desolate. You know? So with this stuff happening, man, it's serious. You know, so at this point, a lot of people are going to come to this realization that the real men of the Lord was out here, and only more hell is coming, man, because that's what we told you. Hell is on the way, man. And another thing that's going to happen with these landlords is they're going to start, as the scriptures say, mortgaging these houses. It says Amos 5:1, it says, and there was a great cry of the people and of their wives against their brethren, the Jews. And this happened in Israel. It says, for there were that said, we, our sons and our daughters are many, therefore we take up corn for them, that we may eat and live. Also, it says, some also were there that said, we have mortgaged our lands, vineyards, and houses, that we may buy corn because of the dearth. And a famine's coming, and these people that are getting these houses back, they're not going to have any tenants to sit here moving them. They're going to sit here and have to put out rent at a lower rate. And not only that, when they get people in there, they're not going to be paying anything, and whatever stable job they had is going to be gone. So At a certain point, they're going to mortgage the house for more. And it says a mortgage is a loan that a bank or mortgage lender gives you to help finance the purchase of a house. It is most advantageous to borrow approximately 80% of the value of the house or less. The house you buy acts as collateral in exchange for the money you are borrowing to finance the mortgage for the house. So when they do this, they're going to sit here and use that money as a hedge to sit here and pay whatever property tax they got on it, and to pay whatever, back mortgage that they have. Some of these people have had these houses for 20, 25 years, and now they have no money coming in, and just to sit here and pay whatever back rent they have on the house, because people haven't been paying rent that they rented these houses to. They'll put a mortgage on the home, use that to pay up, and try to save the extra money as a hedge to pay back, so that interest doesn't hit, because they'll just do the payment early. But in this scenario, man, the economy is not going to bounce back. And this is the same thing that happened in the 2008 financial crisis. So peep this, the fall of the market. It says, this is from Investopedia. It says the fall of the market in 2008. Mortgage crisis, credit crisis, bank collapse, government bailout. Phases like these frequently appear in the headlines throughout the fall of the 2008 period, and through the fall of 2008, a period in which the major financial markets lost more than 30% of their value. These periods also rank among the most horrific in U.S. financial market history. Those who lived through these events will never forget the turmoil. So basically what happened was in 2008, here it is, the key takeaways. It says the stock market and the housing crash of 2008 had its origin in an unprecedented growth of subprime mortgage market being beginning in 2019. So I'm gonna get that word subprime, what that means. Look, subprime mortgage. It says in finance, subprime lending is the provision of loans to people who may have difficulty maintaining the repayment schedule. Historically, subprime borrowers were defined as having a FICO score below 600, although this threshold has varied over time. You see? So what's going to happen now? These people are going to say here and take these mortgage loans, mortgage the house to the bank, lose it because the bank's going to make a quick flip. So you had all these loans that are already questionable. It says U.S. government sponsored mortgage lender Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac made home loans accessible to borrowers who had low credit scores and a higher risk of defaulting on loans. The borrowers were called subprime borrowers and were allowed to take out adjusted rate mortgages, which would start out with low monthly payments that would become much larger after a few years. Financial firms sold the subprime loans, and this was all a money grab, man. This is all a money grab, because when they sold the subprime loans, they knew those loans weren't going to get paid back, but they'd be able to take the house back. So it was a win-win. It's either they start making money and they can make a real mortgage payment, or they don't end up making any money. We take the house back. We gained at least a good 40 G's off of them. This is how Esau gets down. Now it says financial firms sold these subprime loans to large commercial investors and pools of mortgages known as mortgage-backed securities. So basically, they sold these loans knowing that they were going to fall to other people in the investing sector that were like, you know what? This is expected to earn this much. So right now, the contract is valued at this. When the market rises, the increase on houses, on houses and property people are buying is going up. The value of houses are going up. So we're buying it at this rate. We're expecting to make an extra third on top of it. And somebody's already occupying the space, so we'll get paid. This is what those mortgage-backed securities were. And at a certain point, these large investment firms sold all this stuff off. Sold all those loans off in one day. They started selling as many as they could in one day because they knew that market was going to crash. There's actually a movie on this. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here's the movie. It's called Margin Call. There's also a movie called The Big Short, but I feel like this one is a little quicker. It lets everything build up a little better. So this movie's called Margin Call. And they show you how this guy figures out through patterns that this company was sitting there heavily investing in these subprime mortgage loans or these mortgage-backed securities. And they saw that they had too much and too many people were defaulting on these loans. And they saw that they were already in the midst of it. Not a lot of companies picked up on it yet. So they started selling all those mortgage-backed securities, which drove down the prices for those homes, drove down the prices for the rest of the mortgage securities for the whole thing. But the people that get to keep their money are the ones that actually started selling off, which was this company. And this is going to happen again. You know, you're seeing more and more reports of people freaking out because they're worried about a financial collapse. They're worried about the dollar busting. And this is all in the scriptures, man. Ecclesiastes tells you that. Ecclesiastes 12:1. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. And this is what we told you people. This is all we really preached. Come back to the Lord before it's too late. Before this stuff starts popping off. Because you need to get right now instead of later. It says, nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And this is those days. This woman has no pleasure in the days we at right now. Look at her face. It says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after their rain, and the day when the keepers of the house is really the financial sector. Those are your higher elite, your business owners, man. You know, your high grade companies, you know, your investors. Those are investing firms that really, one investing firm tries to sell everything off in one day, people start freaking out. And it drives the stock market down, which can kill an entire economy. You know, so it says in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and they're trembling, man. They're sitting there worried. They're sitting there. You have major investors in the world that are highly respected, selling all their assets and buying gold because gold is a way to protect you against hyperinflation. It says, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease because they are low, because they are few. The grinding is the work stopping. You know, a lot of these jobs aren't coming back, and the houses. It says, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the street, which is talking about the store closures. When the sound of the grinding is low, fewer jobs. He shall rise up at the voice of the bird, getting up early, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. You know, getting up early to find a job. And a lot of these musicians and these celebrities, the most money they made was after doing these tours. So they're being brought low. It says also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and the fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden. You see, and that's happening because here it is, you got locust outbreaks throughout the world. It says, and desire shall fail, because he goeth to his long home, and mourners go about the streets. Homelessness. You know, this is what's happening. Financial collapse. There's other scriptures where it talks about the money felling in Egypt. The money is felling here, man. Just wait till this inflation hits, and then that hyperinflation. The money is gonna fail. We're in the days of evil times, man. It's time to stop playing damn games, man. Whether or not you want to believe it or not, you better start praying that the Lord direct you to the right, righteous path, man, and stop doing those wicked works so that you can actually find the correct path. You know? But Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to say, Call halal, Yahweh Shemar Shai, by Hashem Rakar Kadash, double honors to elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy, hopeful elect. Shalom.